This is From Destruction to Dignity with Janice Pons. Each week, Janice shares her wisdom to enlighten, educate, and advance the culture in America today. Janice Pons is a mother, author, and free thinker, and your host for our podcast this evening. Now let's join your host, Janice Pons.
Greetings, greetings, greetings. Come on in. Come on in here. Welcome, welcome, welcome. My name is Janice Pons. I am the host on this show, on this broadcast, From Destruction to Dignity, Clinical Perspectives, Spiritual Truths. What have we been doing? We've been on a fact-finding journey together in this month of January 2024, because there's so much to know that I did not know the details thereof. And so I'm sharing with you, we, the people, where we can grow collectively as one. I want to thank those of you who have been coming and being a part of this consistently. I want to welcome those of you who are new, my fellow Americans. Yes, my brothers and sisters in Christ, the 210 million Christian Americans, the 340 Americans, we the people who are a part of our great nation. We are forming a more perfect union, learning more about our nation, how it's structured, how it's ordered to help us to flow together as one. So what we're going to do is continue this amazing journey that we have been on together in learning about Social Security, because it's one of our 5 pillars that our taxpayer dollars are supporting. Remember, 88% of our taxpayer dollars go towards supporting those 5 pillars, supporting our seniors always having their retirement, Social Security retirement, our military who protects us from all enemies, both foreign and domestic, our education system, our taxpayer dollars are paying for that, paying off the interest on our national debt, and health care through Medicare always being in place. If any of that crumbles, America won't have an infrastructure. It's a part of the establishment of order. This is what our taxpayer dollars go towards. So, our great flag, our great seal represents us as Americans. And so we've been on this journey together, and we're going to continue. Now, I want to remind you of something. Now, 2024, I'm going to be talking about it. The closer we get to April the 13th, 2024, we are right in the middle of these prayer groups that are expanding and birthing and growing all over our nation, because we are a part of the Mordecais and Esthers that are fasting and praying for our great nation. There are 210 million Christian Americans, and what we're believing for and what we're working towards is having 1 million Mordecais and Esthers on our national mall, October 12th, 2024, our Washington Federal Mall. But to do this, we're organizing prayer services in every state capital in America, and we're going to have meetups in our state capitals on April the 13th, 2024. A day of fasting and prayer. Every state capital all over the nation, April 13th, 2024. Then we will culminate with a massive prayer service on a day of fasting and prayer on Saturday, October 12th, 2024 at the Washington Federal Mall. And I'm asking you to join me to establish your own prayer group, or you can allow me to assist you on how you can connect with the system to help you form your own group, or you can connect with one that's already established in your area. So if you want more information about that, info at janicepons.com. You see it there on the screen. if you so desire for me to assist you with that. So put those dates on your calendar. April 13th, state capitals, the meetups there, and October 12th at the Washington Federal Mall. It's going to be amazing. It's going to be amazing. So speaking of being amazing, the more I learn about our country, the more I realize how it was designed to really be great. It was designed to really be great. And in understanding the pillar of Social Security, I learned that, like I said, I said before, my mama said, well, just, pay into the system so you can get your check, baby. That's all I thought it was all about, but it's much more than that. And so last week we looked at retirement, the specific category as it relates to our taxpayer dollars, being there to undergird and support our elderly, always having their Social Security retirement benefits. They pay into it, but it's so much more in the framework of Social Security. So this week, what we are going to look at is the pillar of Social Security in our nation, disabilities. Disabilities. Listen, wow, disabilities. Who needs it? How do you qualify? How do you determine if you indeed qualify for help if something happens to you? To qualify for Social Security disability insurance, you must have worked in a job that's covered by Social Security. You have to have a medical condition that meets Social Security strict definition of disability. And you know what? I say strict because you know that there will be some people that will try to abuse it. So it is strict and it needs to be. In general, we pay monthly benefits to people who are unable to work for a year or more because of a disability. Do you see how this is loving our neighbors as we love ourselves? Do you see this, how this is us having each other's back? Generally, there's a 5-month waiting period, and we'll get paid that first benefit the 6th month after the date that a disability begins. Now, there has to be a definition. There has to be a criteria, or people would just abuse it. So what is the definition of a disability for an adult? The law in our nation defines disability as the inability to engage in any substantial gainful activity. SGA, substantial gainful activity, by reason of any medically determinable physical or mental impairment. In other words, there has to be a disability that's physical or mental, which can be expected. Listen to this. I was like, wow, this really frames it for me. It should frame it for us, which can be expected to result in death, or which has lasted or can be expected to last for a continuous period of not less than 12 months. So in other words, it's going to last a year. And for some, they know that it's going to result in death. That's a sobering thought. That's a sobering reality for our fellow Americans. Now, that's for adults. Listen to how great our nation is. I love America. I fell more in love with it when I was like, I didn't know this. Listen, disability in children is defined as a child under age 18 will be considered disabled if he or she has a medically determinable physical or mental impairment or combination of impairments that causes marked and severe functional limitations. We're talking about our children. Our taxpayer dollars going towards this. And that these children can be expected to die from these impairments, or it has lasted or can be expected to last for a continuous period of not less than 12 months. Wow. Pretty sobering truths. Do these people need help? Do our fellow Americans need a safety net if they find themselves in these types of situations? Already living paycheck to paycheck. 230 million Americans are living paycheck to paycheck. They don't know how they're going to make it. They're not sure how they're going to eat. They're not sure how they're going to put gas in the car. That's their reality. This is serious stuff. Disabilities, benefits for surviving spouses with disabilities. When a worker dies, their surviving spouse or surviving divorced spouse may be eligible for benefits if they are between ages 50 and 60. Did you know that? I didn't. Until I was reading and researching and going, oh, that's what our taxpayer dollars are going towards? People that got a worker that their income is contributing to the house running. Got to keep the house running. Got to put gas in the car. Everybody needs to eat. Let's just start there. Let's alone go on a vacation. Let's alone go to the movies and get a $10 bucket of popcorn. They want to have a good time too. It's not even an option for some of our fellow Americans. And then you got people on Capitol Hill squandering money, getting $174,000 a year, warming a seat, not looking out for we, the people. That's getting ready to change. Write it down, and we're going to learn how to do this thing together, because if they don't get themselves together, we're voting them out. Go ahead and notify them. What bills do they have and what committee? We're going to start saying that and holding them accountable, because we're not paying them $174,000 a year, and we got people that are on disability, can't even eat, can't even figure out how they're going to get the next meal, trying to have some kind of normalcy in their lives, knowing that they're going to die, knowing that the disability, and some of them, they're like, oh God, I can't get it till it's going on for 12 months, and they're at month 9. God help us in this nation. Y'all up there on Capitol Hill messing around, squandering money. And yeah, we're going to deal with that. It's 88% of our taxpayer dollars are going towards paying for these types of things. We're going to deal with that other 12% that y'all messing around with. We'll get there. Listen, phew. These people are dealing with a medical condition that meets the definition of a disability for adults, and the disability started before or within 7 years. Some of these people have been suffering for a long time, and then they realize, what? I can get a check. I can get help. Oh, Lord, have mercy. Yeah. Lord, have mercy. Yes, God is having mercy. Listen, This is serious stuff. This is serious. This is serious in terms of what's going on in our nation. People suffering, living paycheck to paycheck. And we got people on the Capitol Hill up there messing around and not being keyed into we the people as they trying to figure out how they going to make it. We're talking about the pillar of Social Security tonight, my fellow Americans, my brothers and sisters. We're talking about our fellow Americans that have disabilities. God help us to be sensitive. Help our representatives to be sensitive. What do you think is going to happen when we start asking them, what bill do you have in what committee to address disabilities? You may know of situations with specificity where they need to be on it. People suffering. Yeah. We getting ready to shift this gear. It's already shifted. Social Security insurance pays benefits to you and certain members. We already talked about the adults. We talked about the children. And these benefits usually continue until you can work again on a regular basis. We got your back, baby. That's what we do. That's America. See, let me tell you something. I'm done with Republican and Democrat. This is about America. Now, everybody know that's a shift for Janice Pons. Oh, yeah. We got to love each other. Got to look out for each other. There are times when our fellow Americans go through something and they need a lifeline. They need a safety net. And these benefits, the disability, we got your back until you can work again on a regular basis. There are also several special rules called work incentives that provide continued benefits and health care coverage to help you make the transition back to work. Yeah, we got you. I love this. If you're receiving Social Security disability insurance benefits when you reach full retirement age, your disability benefits automatically convert to retirement benefits, but the amount remains the same. In addition to meeting our definition of disability, we already went to the definition. Social Security, the administration's definition, you must have worked long enough and recently enough under Social Security to qualify. And remember, we said that's 10 years. Social Security work credits. We're getting credit when we're working. We're earning money. We're working. We're getting credit, but we're also contributing to this. These taxes are going into this fund to take care of us. Yeah. The amount needed for work credit changes from year to year. In 2023, for example, you could earn one credit for each $1,640 in wages or self-employment income. When you earn $6,560, you've earned your 4 credits for the year. The number of work credits you need to qualify for disability benefits depends on your age when the disability began. Generally, you need 40 credits, 20 of which were earned in the last 10 years, ending with the year that the disability began. Younger workers may qualify with fewer credits. Now, what do we mean by disability? What do we mean? What did people say? Well, I'm going to see if I can get a disability check. Baby, there's criteria. The definition of disability under Social Security is different than other programs. It's only paid for total disability. No benefits are payable for partial disability or for short-term disability. There are insurance policies that you can get for short-term disability. We consider you to have a qualifying disability under the rules of Social Security when this is true. You cannot do work and engage in substantial gainful activity because of your medical condition. You cannot do work you did previously or adjust to other work because of your medical condition, and your condition has lasted or is expected to last for at least 1 year or result in death. That is a sobering reality, and that is a strict definition. Oh, yes, it is. This is nothing to play with. This is for people that really need help. Social Security program rules assume that working families have access to other resources like short-term disability insurance, workman's compensation. There are other safety nets. Keep your seatbelt on. We're going to dissect understanding insurance as we go. Wow, my eyes. I was once blind, but now I see. Yeah, we're going to learn some things together about our nation and how this thing is structured. Listen, there are some special situations related to disability. Most people who receive disability benefits are workers who qualify on their own records and meet the work and disability requirements that we've already talked about in detail. However, there are some situations that you may not know about. I didn't know about it. Listen to what they are. If you're blind or have low vision, you see how we're looking out for our people? We the people? Yeah. If they're blind, suppose they go blind. They're trying to figure out how to make ends meet. If you are a survivor, your spouse, someone died. Benefits for children with disabilities. Yeah. Benefits for wounded warriors and veterans. Boy, you got my attention right there. Now, guess what? This isn't something that's taken lightly. There is an evaluation process under Social Security. So there's a listing of impairments. The listing of impairments describes for each major body system impairments that are considered severe enough to prevent an individual from doing any kind of gainful activity. Or in the case of a child that's under age 18, applying for SSI, severe enough to cause marked and severe functional limitations. In other words, you have to get an assessment. You have to be evaluated. You have to have limitations. You have to have a disability in specific body systems. And this impairment has to be permanent or expected to result in death. Do you see how serious this is? Listen, what we're looking at is our fellow Americans that are really struggling because they have a disability and they're trying to figure out how they're going to make it. They're trying to figure out how they are going to make the ends meet. And one thing about ends, they usually don't meet. You can't stretch it. I call it trying to make a pair of pants out of a handkerchief for a grown man. This causes people to get overwhelmed. Listen, let's spend a few minutes on our clinical perspectives. We're talking about disabilities. That's a whole other that's different than retirement. Yeah, it's like they know they're going to die. This has got to have gone on for 12 months. When we're looking at being overwhelmed, we've got to get to the source of what's causing us to feel overwhelmed. We've got to get specific. Reflect on what areas of our lives or those who are around us that are contributing to their stress or our stress. Are you overwhelmed at work, school? Is it a relationship? Is it a marriage going bad? Is it a child that's having a difficulty? Is it someone that has a disability? Is it someone that's losing their sight? Now, this is where my clinical mind kicks in. I can't begin to tell you how powerful it is when we name, explain, process, and metabolize. Name what is going on. What are you overwhelmed about? Explain it. Give a language to it. What happens when we give a language to it? We are processing. And when we metabolize, we come up with strategies, skills, and tools, and we get them down in our soul. That's the metabolization of it. Our mind, our soul. What's our soul? Our mind, our will, our emotions, our intellect, our drive, and our desire. What will happen if we get these things down in our soul? We talked about grounding. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. What will happen if we learn to ground ourselves? How many shootings could be stopped if people learn how to get grounded? How many fights can be averted if we learn how to get grounded? 5 things you can see, 4 things you can touch, 3 things you can hear, 2 things you can smell, 1 thing you can taste. You know what happens? Your thought processes go in another direction. I've seen it. I've seen people so out of control. They were out of their minds. Look in my eyes, sir. Look in my eyes. The eyes are the window to the soul. What would happen if we have eye contact with each other? As we the people. And people look and they see, they care about me. Yeah, they're giving me eye contact. The reason that this 5, 4, 3, 2, 1 ground and why it works so well is that it takes a lot of conscious effort to bring you back into the present. When you've all of a sudden trying to figure out how you're going to make ends meet because you're dealing with some disability, your vision is going bad, you just all over the place. You got children, you got a wife, you can't work. What in the world? These are the cards you've been dealt with. Do we need to know how to be there for each other? That we can help each other to pull each other back into the present. Overwhelming feelings are typically rooted in anxiety, which make us ruminate on the future, and then we start spiraling out. Do you know that, and all that's in our bodies, it's in our bodies. So, reconnecting to what's going on in our bodies, not being in denial about it, kind of looking at it. And you're just breathing hard and you're pacing, baby. Come here, talk to me. Talk to me. This is what happens in support groups. They're powerful. I've been to them. Changed my life. So when you're overwhelmed, you're not trying to think your way out of it. You're processing. You're connecting. You're getting connected. Okay, man, I'm just feeling totally overwhelmed. I just feel like I'm tripping out right now. Give it a language. What sensations are you feeling in your body? Talk to your husband. Talk to your spouse. Talk to your best friend. Talk to the people that's in the support group. What would happen if we did that? What would happen? I'm feeling heavy. I'm feeling achy. I'm feeling tight. I got a throbbing in my stomach. Do these situations escalate and lead to people going off on each other? Listen, what seems to be catastrophic can pull you back when we get grounded and we help to talk each other through it. Name your feelings. I don't know what either you are fearful. A lot of that is fear, guilt, anger, shame. Name it. Practice the awareness of the thoughts, the sensations, and the emotions with support. We the people together flowing together as one. What have we looked at tonight? Social Security as it relates to disabilities. That's a whole nother flow. They need us. We need each other, guys. We need each other to be praying together. Listen, we're looking at the clinical perspective of being overwhelmed and being there for each other as we go together in our nation from destruction to dignity. I'll see you next week. Good night.
Thanks for listening to this week's episode of From Destruction to Dignity with Janice Pons. Janice's mission is to provoke thought, bring awareness, and point people towards intervention when needed. As a reminder, this show is not therapy, but for educational purposes only. For more information, check out JanicePons.com or follow her on social media.
Education, affirmation, dedication, information, revelation. A new nation. We are God empowered. Strength is ours. Liberty, been set free. Education, affirmation, dedication, information, revelation.